This is the fourth episode of our Forensic Files series, where we are exploring how forensic science is incorporating artificial intelligence, or AI, for solving crimes. And just a reminder, this is a work of fiction. In this episode, we see how AI can help analyze evidence, identify patterns, and assist in investigations. Coming up next on Forensics and AI. The year is 2027. The location is Metro City. A young woman named Chloe has been found dead in her apartment. The police have been called and they need to figure out what happened here. They've secured the scene, collected some evidence, and brought it back to the lab for analysis. There's a lot of evidence to go through, so the team is going to use AI to help sift through it all. First up, the team has a look at the victim's phone. It doesn't contain any personal data, but it does have a full account of her movements over the last few days. She was last seen leaving her home on Wednesday morning and had been seen at the gym, the grocery store, and the coffee shop since then. This is helpful information. Then the medical examiner comes in with the autopsy results. According to the ME, Chloe died from multiple stab wounds. Her body was found in her apartment. There were no signs of forced entry and nothing appeared to be stolen. So this could have been someone she knew. Could this be a case of domestic violence? The ME noticed that 2 of the wounds were defensive, meaning that Chloe put her hands up to protect herself, which tells us that she likely knew her attacker. The ME also said that Chloe was not pregnant, dispelling any theories about a crime of passion. But he did find something interesting. One of the stab wounds was caused by a very unique-looking knife. He believed it to be a decorative or ceremonial dagger of some kind because of its shape. He wasn't sure if it was the murder weapon, though, since it hadn't been found at the scene. To make matters more confusing, the autopsy report says that the blade used was between 4 and 6 inches long, but the wound itself measured around 8 inches. How can a shorter blade cause such a long wound? Was it a glancing blow? Did Chloe move after being stabbed? These questions will need to be answered. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is combing through the evidence from the crime scene. The lead investigator is talking to one of his team members who's reviewing security footage from outside the victim's building. "Hey, anything on the cameras outside?" The officer shakes his head. "Nothing. There are a couple of cars we're trying to identify, but the footage is too grainy to make out any details. Well, let's hope the license plate recognition software can do what the cameras couldn't." In the next room, another officer is reviewing images taken by the forensic photographer. One of these images caught their eye. It's a picture of something unusual found on the victim's desk. The officer pulls up the image on a larger monitor and studies it closely. What is that strange-looking symbol on the paper? If only there was some way of knowing. As the investigation continues, the team comes across a piece of evidence that poses a significant challenge. A blood-stained sheet found on the victim's bed appears to have a second set of fingerprints, but the prints don't match anyone in the system. Additionally, the team receives information that Chloe had recently broken off her engagement with her longtime fiancé, Jason, who's now become a person of interest. Jason was known to have a volatile temper and had a history of domestic violence against Chloe. The fact that the engagement was recent makes him a prime suspect. However, despite having a motive and a history of violence, Jason's fingerprints aren't matching the ones found on the sheet, so the team has a decision to make. Do they have enough evidence to arrest Jason, or do they need more information first? To help them make their decision, the lead investigator decides to bring in a consultant, a specialist in artificial intelligence and forensic science. After hearing about the case, the consultant agrees that it would be best if they could get more information on the unidentified fingerprint. That symbol on the paper might also help identify whoever left it. The consultant gets to work setting up some equipment while the investigators fill them in on some more details about the case. Chloe's neighbors reported hearing a loud argument coming from her apartment on Tuesday night, but they didn't call the police because they thought it was just another one of Jason's temper tantrums. But now that the police are involved, the consultant thinks it's time to take a closer look at the security footage from inside the apartment building. It's a little blurry, but I think I can see 2 people entering the elevator. The consultant takes a closer look at the video. Yeah, those are definitely the same two people exiting the elevator. You can see them walking down the hallway to Chloe's apartment. But once they reach the door, the video cuts out. We only see shadows and hear voices. Back at headquarters, the consultant sets up a workstation and begins processing the evidence. Using advanced AI algorithms, the consultant is able to enhance the video footage, identify the individuals, and obtain partial fingerprints from the blood-stained sheet. Surprisingly, the man in the video is not Jason. It's actually Thomas, one of Chloe's co-workers who had a crush on her. As for the symbol on the paper, it's identified as part of a ritualistic pagan ceremony. When processed through an AI facial recognition program, the man in the video is matched to a local pagan group. Could this be a clue as to why Thomas would be at Chloe's apartment? As the consultant works on the case, the investigators decide to pay a visit to Thomas. They want to question him further about his relationship with Chloe and find out what he was doing at her apartment the night she was killed. Thomas is cooperative at first, but becomes agitated when they mention the enhanced security footage. He tries to leave, but the investigators stop him and bring him back in for further questioning. Thomas breaks down and confesses to being at Chloe's apartment, but claims that he was only there to return a book that she had accidentally left at his office. He insists that he didn't kill her and that he only left the building after she told him that her fiancé, Jason, would be home soon. The investigators let Thomas go for now, but plan to keep an eye on him in case he becomes a suspect in the future. With Thomas eliminated, the investigators turn their attention back to Jason. They re-interview him, this time with the knowledge that he wasn't at the apartment building that night. Jason is still angry, but now he's also confused. He swears he had nothing to do with Chloe's death and demands that the police find her killer. Moved by Jason's pleas, the police decide to give him another chance. They run the partial fingerprints they obtained from the blood-stained sheet through the database and get a match. The owner of the fingerprints is none other than Jason himself. Overcome with emotion, Jason admits that he killed Chloe. It turns out that he had been at the apartment building that night, but only to pick up some of his things that he had left there. He had planned to move out after Chloe broke off the engagement, but when he arrived at her apartment, he found her with Thomas. Overwhelmed with rage, Jason lost control and attacked them both with a ceremonial dagger that he had picked up earlier in the day. He intended to run away afterwards, but panicked when he saw that Chloe had been mortally wounded. He tried to clean up the scene, but ended up leaving behind his own fingerprints in the process. With the case now solved, the police are able to bring Jason to justice. Justice for Chloe. Thanks for watching. This was an intense story, wasn't it? AI is rapidly changing the way that forensic teams work. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about the future of AI and forensics, or are you a bit nervous about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, be sure to check out the other videos in the series.